What is going on, everybody? It is Antonius DaGamer here, once again joined by Mykale Smith, Super SSS rank. And we are finishing up the last two movies in our Dragon Ball Z Retrospect series. Now, it's taking a little while to get to this point. These are some of the movies that people usually remember the most or think of the most when they think of the Dragon Ball movies. It's usually we think of Broly and we think of these two. So, with no further ado, let's get into the first movie, Fusion Reborn. Now, again, because it's so popular, I'm not going to do a whole plot synopsis, but essentially, there is this teenager who's on cleaning duty in the afterlife. He's supposed to be draining the evil out of the evil purification machines. He's like any other teenager who's not taking the job that seriously. It blows up, covers him in mist. He turns into a fat creature. At this point, Goku and Pikkon are sent to investigate. The creature has turned hell into a jelly bean landscape, essentially. And meanwhile, it breaks the seal between hell and earth. And now all these different people are being revived, including, strangely enough, Hitler. But ultimately, the Z Fighters try to wish them back. Shenron's unable to do it. So they go about dispatching a lot of the events and drama on Earth themselves. Meanwhile, Goku faces off against a creature that we find out is named Janemba, who can only say his name. They have a very, very visually appealing fight. Goku brutally kills Janemba, who then transforms into a slimmer form, not unlike that of Super Buu. And Janemba then proceeds to brutally beat Goku in return. Vegeta shows up and gets disrespected the way he usually does during these 90s films. And they're forced to beat a tactical retreat while Goku suggests that they do the fusion dance. A lot of different things happen. Pikkon is able to find out Janemba's weakness, which is insults of all things. Meanwhile, on Earth, Gohan makes light work of Frieza, and Goten and Trunks face off against Hitler. And ultimately, Goku and Vegeta, after a failed attempt, end up fusing into Gogeta. And what other character has done more with 30 seconds than Gogeta in the 90s?
Didn't even stand a
with
chance,
Sparkles at that. With Sparkles. He's able to purify the boy of Janemba's evil.
Yeah, it took some soap, some darn dish soap, threw it at Janemba, dog.
Right. Purifies him. And yeah, roll credits. So, fellas, what do you guys think of Fusion Reborn as a film?
As a film, it's definitely straight to the point.
Very.
I feel like that was the general synopsis of it. It was very straight to the point. This is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end. Enjoy.
Like, no more, no less.
Yeah. Like certain areas just were not really drawn out. I mean, I really enjoyed it because, it kind of had the force to make a certain character included into future things. A certain character named Pikkon. But then, we're still in that limbo of today. So free Pikkon. Free
For
Pikkon. Real. But overall, man, it was a great movie, man. It was a great movie. I really did like the the general look of the villain. Because it's not really a villain. It's just almost in the sense of a freak accident possession type feel. He's the accumulation of the evil, that has been like the force of evil in that place, the malice and all that stuff. So basically, this is how the form would actually look. And then, of course, it went from a very cute, cuddly behemoth to this very sinister demon-like character because his moveset was just, bro, it was really otherworldly.
Yeah, we had never seen anything like that before, bro.
Even
crazy.
How he teleports, the way he dissolves in a pixelated form, the lightning rain. And of course, here comes a sword out of a dimensional sword.
Yeah.
Of all things.
And if you paid attention, it wasn't really a mouth blast that he was doing. He burped out the sword.
Huh?
It wasn't a mouth blast that he was intentionally doing. He literally burped out his sword.
Because remember the debris on the ground in front of him after he blasts Goku. I don't know if I'll have to rewatch that part.
Watch it again. Yeah, that was a burp. Yeah, he burped out. He literally vomited out the sword. Yeah, Yeah, watch it. I'm telling you, because
I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be surprised. Like he did so many unique things. I'm like, I wouldn't put it past.
that.
Yeah, go ahead, Tim.
My only drawback was the whole Hitler thing was very odd,
Yes.
because I was like, so why didn't you just bring back Commander Red or something from the Red Ribbon Army? It's like, bro, you faced the whole military, and honestly, I feel like that would have also brought more like nostalgia, like let's just say Commander Red, like, hey, you're that kid. Why are you still a kid?
Mm-hmm.
But then not knowing that's actually his son.
Right. But it's like someone in the edited story room's like, and then Goten and Trunks fight the Nazis. This should work. It's like the Nazis. What?
Now, the only thing that I did not, another thing I didn't like about that, like this flyer is kind of misleading, because when you look in the background, you see a particular faces, and it's kind of like the Hulk and Avengers, Infinity War all over again. So I'm like,
we thought what we were gonna get versus what we actually got, of like, what coolers on the cover, Slug, the Bio Warrior from Dr. Willow. I'm like, oh, this is about to be a nostalgia trip. Nope.
Man, that's actually ludicrous. I ain't even peeped that.
Release the director's cut to Fusion Reborn.
Please.
Wow.
Let's not see more everything else in this background here.
Lord Slug. Who else is there? Oh my!
Everybody,
this is crazy,
Cooler, Salza, the Bio Warrior, Metamacha from Lord Slug. On the left, I think you can see Nappa. I want to say that's Raditz towards the far back. The Dorias.
Yeah, that is Raditz. That is Raditz.
Come on.
That is Raditz. That's insane, man.
No, we see them. Remember, we see them when Frieza shows up, because you see BoJack.
You see BoJack, and then BoJack also runs away, which unlike BoJack.
No sense.
Unlike BoJack.
Right. It's unlike BoJack, unless it is, right? We don't know. We never knew how he moved.
It's just for the back. It's just for background, bro. And that was all. That was the ultimate version of bait and switch.
Yes.
Because honestly, this really could have been like a battle royale type of style of. Because the thing about it is that since the gap was still open, you could keep killing them, and they keep coming back. They keep coming back. So like, even with like Gohan, like I was like, bro, where's Cell?
That would have been beautiful, bro.
Where's Cell? And then it kind of brings back that memory. Well, all right, since this is happening, this is the perfect time to bring back all the DBZ fighters. Make Yamcha relevant. Make Tien relevant. But like, bro, bring back Krillin, bro. Yeah. But it's just, and then apparently, this is after 17 was switched back. Maybe we could have seen some action of 17 before GT. It's like, bro, you put all these lore plots out there, but it's just like you just fumble every time. It's like, what's the purpose?
Hitler.
It's like, what's the purpose of mentioning it if you're not going to follow through?
I don't know. I've thought that same thing many a time. I'm like, why did they decide that this was the way to go? Goten and Trunks versus the Germans. Like I don't understand. I get the overall, like, because like they said, like Hitler was obsessed with like blonde hair and blue eyes. He thought that was the view of perfection.
That is the reason why certain people come at you.
Right. But I'm like, that wasn't that funny. You'd be better off not doing this. I promise you. Felt like somebody else, like a completely different movie.
The Red Ribbon Army is right there.
Well, Ashton, what about you? What do you think about the film overall?
Personally, that's my favorite Dragon Ball Z movie of all time. Well, no. I'd say
it's not a bad pick.
No. It's a special place in my heart. But Broly, Dragon Ball Z Broly is up there.
Okay.
Yeah, but this, I'd say before that movie, that was my favorite movie. Because for me, I'm very big on animation.
Mm-hmm.
And I would always pick movement over speed any day.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably one of the reasons why I love the Avatar, the Last Airbender. You get to feel and see everything. And sometimes Dragon Ball Z is at its best when you see the combat. I know that they're supersonic warriors. I don't need them to always move that way. You can just elude to give me the idea that they're moving that way and then have them do regular movement.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that I felt the way Dragon Ball Z Fusion Reborn was for me was what I liked about it. There was a lot of things. Number one, the I like the environment, the scenery.
It's
Um, it
gorgeous.
was to me the
That is
starting off
still
at the
the
tournament.
that is still the best stage. The Jelly Beans age, that
Yeah,
is still one of the best
Yeah,
stages
gorgeous,
ever.
gorgeous.
and
But yet,
it's and
but
it's
yet,
But that will require work, Tim. Hold on now, come on.
oh man.
That will require effort.
So yeah, you have that the scenery. It's starting off with the tournament. You're seeing the characters from the tournament. You're like, oh man, okay, Pycon's in this movie.
Hmm.
Yo, I thought this was just filler. And I'm watching Pycon and Goku and in the little tournament. Then the experiment happens. Then everything breaks loose. Now you see Frieza come back and all the goons. I'm like, what is this movie about to be? But then going back to what Tim said about the poster. That's not what happened. But even though that didn't happen, what we got instead was great. I'd say for me, you got to see so you have some of the best posters in any Dragon Ball Z movie. With Goku Super Saiyan level 3, the best posters.
Bro,
When that attack, they don't name these attacks, but that attack that Goku did to finish off Janemba,
it's
I
got a
thought,
name now, but I think
yeah,
it's just the games. Like the games had to give it something, so it's called the Twin Dragon Fist. Is what it's called,
okay,
but it
okay,
doesn't have a name technically.
got you,
Yeah,
okay. So the way it all took place, the way it happened, for me, because I seen the original dub, I was confused as to what happened. I didn't understand what the kid did. I just felt like, okay, is the kid Janemba or is the Janemba freed or whatever?
a host, basically.
A
yeah.
host.
Hmm.
Yeah, because it took a while for me to understand. Because I had to watch the original Japanese version.
Mm.
But Janemba's actually more terrifying to me in Japanese than he is in English.
Yeah,
Because he
they made him a little bit too much of a joke to some degree in
Yeah.
English.
Because in Japanese there was a laugh that he did. He didn't even yell like a regular person. Yeah.
He
I
sounded like
was
a
just
goat.
like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. And it was like I was like, yo, what type of Dragon Ball Z character is this, man?
Mm-hmm.
This guy is more terrifying than Deborah. Deborah is not aesthetically pleasing. I mean, he's like
He's
when I say aesthetically pleasing, I mean like he seems to be a little too dark for Dragon Ball Z. That's what I want to say, if that makes
mm,
sense. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
He looks like the literal cut and copy paste of what the devil would look like. With the goatee and he just made him
Yeah.
pink instead of red. You know? So I'm watching I'm watching the movie. Goku, I'm looking at the aesthetics, the scenery, big Janemba, Kaiju Janemba just playing. I was like, yo, this is a baby in diapers. So I'm like, is this Janemba? And so when he's fighting him, and I'm like, yo, this baby's kind of lethal he's doing the portal punches and beating up Goku. And then for me, that's when I knew the movie was gonna be different. Goku does the Kamehameha to finish him off, and he just looks at his hand and he
And
makes a projection.
another Goku. Yeah, bro.
Another Goku. And yeah, the mini Janembas and the entire environment, man. And so one of the things that to me was also fire was when Goku finally does the Twin Dragon Fist. Because at this point I don't know what to expect. I see the guy in the cover, but I don't see how these two are
Right, right.
connected to each
Yeah, yeah,
other.
yeah, yeah.
So he transforms, and you get one of the best poses for a villain and they just never did anything like that, so where the camera would pan out and you would see Janemba from a distance to
Hmm.
like signify the level of strength, and Janemba already knew how he was going to move from very get-go. It wasn't you what One thing I probably would have appreciated if they did more movement as far as animation, as far as him transforming, but I also appreciated that he just stood still
Hmm.
and did that exact pose. And I'm a sword. I love swords. I love characters that have swords. Janemba probably has one of the most simplest swords, but the best looking swords I've ever seen in all of media, in my opinion.
Yeah, and all a crimson blade.
That sword,
Simple but effective.
simple but effective. To me, like, yo, this rivals the Master Sword. I don't see anything getting more perfect than this. And that
Mm,
sword, and he was wielding it like he did. At one point, I thought he cut off Goku's arm.
yeah.
At
Yeah.
one point, I thought he cut off Goku's arm, man. Once that fight,
Yeah.
once that animation
Where
took place in that
Goku,
exchange,
it's a-
Goku,
I was
yeah,
like,
and Goku fighting it.
yo.
So I'll go back a little bit because there's just so much to grasp with that fight, man. Goku's already level 3. He sees Janemba. Now they wind up going at it. Goku does a blast. You're okay. Janemba probably is he either getting used to how he fights or whatever. Goku goes for the blast. Does the key blast miss? Janemba does the part just disintegrates into another dimension. And I've never seen this villain is my favorite villain because he has the most unique everything moveset,
Everything. Literally
uh,
everything.
interaction with his enemies, even at his first form, which made you like, yo, this fat baby is interesting. When
He
he
could
was when
he could
he's
also impact his environment because I remember like when he was almost like how remember when Kabuto went Sage mode, he can make the turn the ground into spikes.
Mm-hmm.
So like Janemba could even do that as
Oh yeah,
well.
because he broke off that piece and yeah, wow, yeah. Yeah.
yeah, man, he was like the most interesting villain to me because once I saw that animation and heard the sound effects, and he just literally disintegrated himself and reassembled himself right behind Goku. I said, no, that must have been a headache to draw. But
They said
thank
it.
you.
No, they said it. They said like the guy that worked on that scene. He said he's like if they had to do it again, they would have just used 3D because he's like it was a pain. But I'm like, but
But
I'm
you see
glad you
the
did it
power of hand
because
drawn pictures,
yeah,
man.
it has
Oh
aged
man,
like perfection.
beautiful. Butter. And so you get another poster from Goku. He misses. Janemba hits him with a blast. Goku flies out. Then Janemba had some of the best poses from a front view, like still shots ever in any Dragon Ball Z film. So, because he has one. After that, he proceeds to do the mouth blast, but he's burping. What comes out of his stomach? He picks up the sword. He flicks it. It transforms. And he just gets to the cutting and the
Gets
sound
to
effect of the
work.
cut.
Yeah.
My favorite shot is when Goku shoots a blast and Janemba's just standing in the fire, and you see the flames just go over his face, and he's just looking. He smirks. Okay. He does that one. He just raises the sword. He doesn't do a slash. He raises the sword, He-Man style. The sword goes for a diagonal cut. I mean, not a diagonal cut, but a vertical cut. Cuts the thing in half, and I'm just like, yo, Goku is finished. Goku didn't even try to catch the sword. Because Goku knew the immediate danger at level 3.
The first
This is
dodge when he's dodged and you see the little fissure open and he's like, okay.
yeah, man. So,
Okay.
oh man, it just for me, man, it kept going. It kept escalating. It kept escalating. I mean, there's so many scenes. You got the scene where he just rips a line with his fingernail, and he's shooting the shattered glass dimensions at you. And y'all want to talk about characters not being powerful? I mean, what else is there?
Yeah.
What else is there? What else do you want? Like
Yeah.
he's slicing the dimensions, and the shattered dimensions are using them as broken glass and throwing them at you. Oh man, and I just one thing I do hate about the film. I understand for comical purposes, but they spent too long on it. When you had
The
they
fat
even have a
Gogeta.
name for him. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not Gogeta,
It's Veku.
Veku. Yeah, and
Or
it was just
Biku.
like,
Veku. Yeah, Veku.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's Veku.
I I
I
didn't
didn't
have an
like that
issue
part.
with it. I didn't have an issue with it only because as I've gotten older, I really see the on Earth plot and the Hell plot as two completely different stories. Like it
Mm.
just they're just so different in tone. So like if they hadn't tried to use the Goten and Trunks thing as comedy, which I didn't think was that funny. So like I feel like if I had to
It
completely
was annoying, if anything.
yes. So like if I had to cut that entirely from the movie, I'm like, I do think that it needed a moment of humor in this movie because otherwise it's just very dark. It gets very, very dark for the most
Well,
part.
you had Pycon cursing at the jelly beans. That was funny.
Yeah, but in terms of like just like if you think about where he's at before he shows up again, that's a pretty large gap in the movie.
Yeah, that is
So like
yeah.
that's a whole thing of like they're running hide and seek, and it's just like, yo, we can't beat this guy. He knows where we are. Like I think you kind of needed something. I do think it went on a little bit too long.
Yes.
That part went
Yeah,
on a little too long.
yeah,
You could have used that for Gogeta's debut.
yeah.
Like,
I do think it went on too long, but I wasn't mad at him showing up because
yeah.
otherwise we had gotten, like again, it's just them running for another 10 minutes.
But I do feel if you would have actually followed through on what you showed on the poster, you wouldn't have to need.
I agree.
That would have been the greatest Dragon Ball Z movie of all time. Like, forget it.
For decades, yeah, easily.
Forget it. We wouldn't even get Black Frieza.
Yeah,
we'd get blue Janemba, red Janemba. Yeah,
or just like the cooler
Cyberman Janemba.
Cooler Frieza team up that we've been wanting to see on screen. There's a lot of things they could have really done with that Earth plot if they wanted to.
Yeah, they
had actually followed through on it, but yeah.
Yeah, so I think that movie, I wish Pycon did a little bit more, but of course they kind of just, he's in the movie for what then? That's when I'm watching the movie, I'm like, yo, why are you here? You could have been, you could have just saved that footage for Gogeta's debut. Y'all ran out of budget. You know what I'm saying?
No,
As soon as Gogeta showed up, it was
they
a
blew
wrap.
the budget on Gogeta. What you mean? He transforms. You can see the key through through time and space.
And then he does the combo and
bro. You've never seen anything like that before.
The Soul Punisher attack, and that's it.
Is that the official name?
That's the official name. Yeah.
Yeah, Soul Punisher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because remember when he did it on Super Broly, remember it didn't kill him because the way it's designed is supposed to only kill the ones who are not of pure of heart, and that's why when he did it on Broly, he smiled because that's when he really knew what his true heart is.
That he's not a bad guy, essentially.
That he's not a bad guy because the attack actually did nothing. It did nothing when you really look at it.
I mean, it didn't do nothing, but I know what you mean. Like, the fight definitely kept going afterwards.
Yeah. So, I also, one thing I did appreciate about Gogeta in this one is Gogeta felt, I liked how, I don't know if they purposely tried to do this, but I liked how Vegito was more playful and Gogeta was a lot more serious.
I think it was on purpose, and then they retconned it like everything else.
They retconned it, and I thought that was the worst thing that they ever did.
Yeah, because here comes Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, who's the most playful.
Yeah, worse than Gotenks even.
Worse than Gotenks, yeah.
Bluff Kamehameha. I was like, bro, how is this a move, bro?
Yeah. They retconned it for sure. But I agree with you. I think it would have, because, originally the long running fan theory is that there are different names because of the personality that's dominant. So it's like Vegito would have matched the pridefulness of Vegeta, of like taking pleasure in like being more dominant. Whereas Goku has at that time had a habit of taking things more seriously when he needed to. So it's like Gogeta kind of gets more to it like Goku can. Vegeta's a little bit more arrogant, but has the power to back it up. Right? Because that's when we let's be honest, that's when we love Vegeta the most. When Vegeta's like dominating. That's our favorite time. That's our favorite Vegeta. When it's one-sided and he's the one-sider, it's like, this is all I wanted.
Yeah, man. But yeah, that's my favorite movie, man. The color palette, you got to pick the colors, the scenery, the moveset of the villains. We finally I mean, personally, I really enjoyed that fight. Goku had some of the best screenshots, the pause scenes that you could ever poster moments, man. In anything. I mean, the Dragon Ball Z books that we were showing on the chat that we had, I would look at the Goku, that's the best drawn Dragon Ball Z's ever been.
Yeah.
That's the best. I mean, I'm not, for the next movie we talk about, that was well drawn too.
Of course.
But as far as animation, Goku doing stuff that gave him way more personality. When he was going and crawling out of the Janemba
The
jelly
jelly bean
beans,
thing.
and he was just, to me, those the simple things in animation, they're actually more powerful than just throwing a punch, man. It is, man.
He started to tap in more into his like adult version of Dragon Ball Goku, where he was
Yes.
doing like a lot of techniques. I kind of felt like after a certain point in Dragon Ball Z, he kind of just simplified himself, where like he would rely on whatever palette transformation or technique that he used, a Kamehameha enhancement.
Yeah. I mean, there'd
Or,
be some strategy like Tournament of Power, like when he was lying, like putting little key mines with Jiren
or
and.
remember that don't count no more.
Oh yeah, you're right. But yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that don't count no more.
Because Jiren was never that strong to begin with. Remember, it was all just perfect key control. It was never
Yeah,
that one sided.
yeah. So I mean, like, and it was good to see that type of that Goku tap into that type of strategy again. But then this was also the fight that really showcased that. And I think this could have been a perfect segue to like the development of Super Saiyan 4. That Super Saiyan 3 is good, but the drawbacks is too much. Because remember when he tried to power up again and he couldn't do it because it's almost like a hyper mode. Like it's too exhausting. It's too
Mm.
exhausting. Like you burn through your ki so much. Like yes, it's very powerful. It's like a wild card. Like you use it for what you need to do to do something that is very dramatic, but the burnout is too much. So that could have been a good segue. Well, we need to develop a form that maintains and also enhances this level of power without the drawback.
What I was actually going to say, in terms of like my little notes for the film part of it, to your point, Tim, is like I actually feel like for me, this was the movie that made Super Saiyan 3 cool to me. I was at that time pretty underwhelmed by his first fight against Fat Boo. I was like, they kind of fought to a standstill. Whatever.
Because Gotenks did more with that.
Exactly. Right. So I'm like, this seems like a more Gotenks thing than a Goku thing. And then like the fight with Kid Buu was cool. Like I liked it more, but I was like, again, like I'm like, this is not. But then this fight, I was just like, this is the coolest thing. Again, at that time, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. Because like you said, it's like, as soon as he turned Super Saiyan 3, he got right to it. There was no more like back and forth with the Janemba. He just swung underneath him and was just decking him constantly and then split him down the middle. Like it's like a brutality you're not even used to seeing from Goku, but like, yo, like, bro, like, and then it's like it continues on, like Joy said, to the Super Janemba fight, where you're just seeing all of this choreography. And the thing that was beautiful about it is that it's slow. It's not a quick punch. They start trading blows. Goku kicks him. Janemba grabs his leg, does the wide swing. Goku frees himself.
It's
And it's just like, yeah.
It's animation.
It's like there's like this almost like a dance. And you're just like, man, I can't believe what I'm seeing. Goku throws the blast. Janemba deflects it with the sword, but it still blows up, like Jory said. But then you get that fire shot, or like you just see these scenes of like, I cannot believe what I'm watching. Even with Vegeta's 5 seconds of fame, it's like how he got defeated was unique, right? Like at that point, we didn't know Janemba could stretch. So you're like, bro, what?
This guy can do it all. Like, who is this person?
It was to the point where I'm like, I think I like him more than I like Majin Buu. To be honest, I think I like him more than Majin Buu.
The thing is, Majin Buu. This is before Kid Buu, right?
This is before Kid Buu, yeah.
Yeah. So to me, finding those things out kind of anger you in a way, because it's like
because then you know like Toriyama was involved, like Toriyama designed Gogeta's design, so it's like I know you knew what this movie was and what they were going with it, and you still decided to do this with the end of the Buu saga. Why? Just borrow something from this. They're doing your character better than you are.
They're doing.
And he doesn't even talk.
He doesn't even talk. But the thing is, another reason why I like Janemba so much, his facial expressions. He probably had the most facial expressions than anybody in a Dragon Ball Z movie. He had a lot of it speaks. And I'm pretty sure the animators are aware of that too. But it was just
Even his ending animations of when he knew he was done for, it was like the expression on his face.
Mm-hmm. His eyes like bulging, twitching through the vein, and he's just like, I'm cooked. I'm done.
yeah. A lot
Yeah.
of it spoke, man, and here's just the color scheme, man, the color palette, the backgrounds, the way it all happened. Tim, man, that's actually a crazy. I never thought of it that way, man. That'd have been a crazy story to see if it was flushed out that way, like the poster advertised. That would have been Infinity
Yeah.
War before
It's
Infinity
it's
War,
right,
man.
it's right,
Mm-hmm.
it's right, it's right there. It's right
Oh
there.
Which is the
man.
usual thing we talk about in these movies of like, it's
Yeah,
not that we're
yeah,
coming up with the
yeah.
plot. You guys gave us the plot and just didn't do it. I don't understand why. Like
Yeah,
it was right.
man.
Like you guys wrote it. We just wanted you to execute it, and you still didn't. But that's like I guess like the movie in its whole. What do you guys think about the villain? Like we kind of talked about it a little bit. What do you guys think about Janemba as a villain, like as an antagonist in this movie?
He got the job done. Because I do realize, with a movie, and especially how far we've come in the movies, he's
Mm-hmm.
not there to be that fleshed out. Because I think they kind of got some burnout from, oh yeah, we did two Cooler movies, or we did 2.5 Broly movies. So like, yeah, we're not really trying to like make these characters like more long term than they need to be. So it was one and done. And yeah, like it was some kid. He got some goo on him, Ghostbuster style. A
Mm-hmm.
demon came out. Let's get to it.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
doing a little kaiju battle because we can't help ourselves.
But it was fire.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, those are fun to animate, man. I could only imagine.
Honestly, it was much better than this next one we're about to get.
Yeah. Yes. By far, for sure, for
Oh
sure.
boy.
But that's right. What
But
you think
that's
about
gonna be
him?
the quickest video, man. In the end.
That's right. What do you think about Janemba? Well, you've kind of said it,
Oh
but
yeah, Janemba is my favorite villain. And it's crazy. He's the most effective villain, not written to be along. Well, not the most. Besides the number one taking the place, Cooler. He's not. He's my number two. He's my number two,
okay.
man. Cooler, and then there you got Janemba. And the thing with Janemba, man, Janemba felt like an adult version of Kid Buu. Very weird.
I can see
Very
that.
strange, right? He felt like
A monster refined.
Yeah, I can
a
see that.
monster refined, right?
Mm.
He felt like if Boo was gonna transform from that pink Boo to anything else, his final form should have been what we got, what we
Because I
experienced.
always felt like Kid Buu was very weird to me. So like, you mean to tell me you was created from magic, but you don't
Not
use
my favorite
magic?
villain. He's
Yeah.
not my favorite villain.
You
I'm
just
just
You
gonna
don't
have
be real with you.
utilize any of the magic that you were made from.
like
You just
you just have because like my thing is like, all right, so you created a monster to literally take on the Kais.
mm-hmm.
So I mean, yes, you created a monster, but it's just he has strong energy blast and he could absorb you. But like
Turn you into candy.
no use of magic, like nothing.
Did that little his little tentacle count for him turning you into chocolate? I don't know. It's
Sure,
lame,
sure,
It's a
sure.
but
gimmick.
that's
It's
what
a
people will
gimmick.
Yeah,
say, man.
It's
I
a
can
that
only
is
gimmick.
imagine the
magic.
comment.
You're not. Yeah, you're
That's
not
the
wrong.
comments
It
we'll
is
get. I know.
magic.
Hey, Tim, I don't take it either. That's not enough for me, to be honest. Hey, listen, I'm just saying. Well, what do you mean? We gonna have those, man.
Yeah, no, you're right.
We gonna have those.
That's a fair point.
So
It is magic for sure.
he
But then
turned
you
Chi Chi into an egg, man.
Yeah, then you compare it to what you're seeing Janemba do with real magic, and you're like, I think I would have preferred this.
Man, what was that?
Actually with Janemba, I would think that's more of like dimensional bending. Because you remember like how Joy said with the shattered dimension glass, like he turned it
but the,
into some lightning rain, and even when he does the little particle teleport, like I think it's more of like a dimensional type
but
of thing.
I think it would have to be both because you can't discount what Fat Janemba was doing in terms of turning the debris into copies of himself or cloning Goku. Like that's not dimensional bending. That's
Yeah,
magic, bro.
that's def.
Actually it is. Actually it is on a very like I said on a dimensional level. Like
Okay,
you
I'll
could
take
you
that. I'll take that.
yeah because you also
I'm
got to
not gonna fight
yeah
that because
that is that
he
no
did more of that than magic. I would say the wild card is him being able to stretch. He did some of the sword from his stomach, I would say that's a little bit more like magic, but
Yeah, because remember,
I'm not, maybe a little bit of both.
because I mean, it's a bit of both. Because remember, dimensional bending, that's also playing with matter. So that means he's able to dissolve,
Okay.
create, solidify,
Yeah.
all those things. But then, to be honest, magic bends matter as well. So I think they're kind of like on the same spectrum, I would say. But one is on this side, one is on that side, but they're still like identical in a sense. Like when I say magic, because remember, Bobbity was a wizard. A wizard, so a space wizard. So a space wizard made a space creature. I mean,
unless he didn't, right? Because that's what keeps getting retconned. Like apparently he did, but he didn't. But Boo existed, but Boo didn't.
we getting toasted, man.
Yeah, it just depends on what version you want to go with, right? What story do you want to take as?
And why try to make a stronger version than Janemba? Why not make a stronger version than Bobbity's creation, right? Why would I just use any material?
Right after Bobbity's creation that got destroyed. But we're not here to talk about Diamond, right? We're here to talk about the classics. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm like, I don't understand, why don't we just take from the obvious again and just make it easier on ourselves? But yeah, I mean, even if it's like dimensional shifting or magic, I'm like, everything he was doing was just cooler than Boo. Like Boo essentially absorbing to become more like the DBZ fighters was not interesting. Like Cell was enough. I don't need to see another villain do a Kamehameha. Cell did it. He did it the best. I don't need to see it anymore. Like, I want to see what you can do. That's your own technique.
Well, we gotta sell toys.
You can still have them change forms.
We gotta sell toys.
Janemba couldn't have sold toys?
I mean, you got 3 toys. Yeah, both Janemba forms and Gogeta. So
yeah,
that's three. That's three toys right there.
But I can sell you the same character 4 times. Why not? I mean,
fair enough.
Why not?
Fair enough. Fair argument. Fair argument.
All right.
I think
gray, no chin blazer, chin Piccolo.
Yeah.
Go Tanks.
Yeah.
And my favorite, Gohan. You know what? Man, that's like more than one.
All I see is dollar sign.
Overhaul, man.
Yeah. I think Janemba, for as much as I did enjoy the fact that he didn't speak, I kind of wish he did just a little bit. Like, I think one thing that Tim has said, especially towards the later DBZ movies, is that these villains were just lacking in any type of like anything. You don't know anything about Janemba. Like, yes, we know how he came to be, but does he want to escape from hell? Is Goku trying to stop him from killing King Yema? Like, what does he have? Any type of, is his desire to destroy the afterlife? I don't know.
I think it was
no idea.
To go off of what Tim said, they wanted a one and done, man. Because think about it. Him talking means that the evil presence, the evil the evil tank that he came from is aware. Right?
Entity, yeah.
Yeah, the entity is aware. So him talking that's not something you would just want to have a teenager clean up if it wasn't like chemical. It was like chemical waste,
You know what Janemba reminds me of, and I know this is the worst and best example. Remember when I told you about what's happening in Boruto about how the Ten Tails became sentient and created like a different form for itself? That's kind of what this is like. But then I feel like if you would have given Janemba more of a story, because I feel like, if he was fleshed out in the anime, this could have been a plot for him. Like, what does he actually desire? But then, like, with these movies, you got an hour and 30 minutes. Make it work.
Yeah, because like, even for example, like, I don't know if you guys remember the Game Boy Advance game, Boo's Fury. He's in the game as a boss. And in the game, they say that it's a collection of obviously still the evil out of different souls, but essentially one soul of like an evil mob boss pretty much gain control, and that's Janemba. Janemba is the soul of a old mob boss in the demon realm, kind of brought back to life using the boy as a host. I'm like, okay. I could have taken that. That's okay. I don't need much more, but it would have been nice to have seen in the movie, is what I'm saying. Like, I would have preferred to at least get that lore.
But I think you got those striking poses because he didn't talk. I think they made sure that he spoke with his face. You know,
1 hour and 30 minutes.
yeah.
Hey,
That's
it worked. It worked for Broly's Super Broly. They got the job done with a couple of tweaks. Hit the remix button, and I was like, I'm locked in.
Yeah,
They even
it
they
did.
even wasted half an hour because I did not need that Bardock prologue to be that long. So like it can happen.
That
It could happen.
Bardock retcon that we didn't
Yeah.
need.
Jorel, son Jorel of Planet Vegeta.
Why? Why? Why?
Yeah, because I was like, bro, the Bardock father of Goku was much better. Because
It
I was
was
like, first of
It
all,
much.
was much better.
you took away his custom made uniform. Because bro, back in them high
That
school
forest
days,
green.
back in the high school days, everybody had that picture where he steps out of his capsule and he's like this, like on
Yeah.
one, or like on his knee, bro. Like, but you give him this generic yellow and black uniform. Like, bro, come on, no.
Sometimes it's okay to tell Toriyama no. I keep saying
With
that.
the scar on his cheek, man.
Toriyama, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. But the keeping the series of questions, what do you guys think of the utilization of the characters in the movie? The Gokus, the Gohans, the Vegetas. How
Wasted.
do you guys
It
think
was
they were?
Goku
You
and
said wasted.
It was Goku and Vegeta. Everybody else was a waste. Gohan was just for that one punch gimmick. Gotenks a waste. That was a
Yeah.
waste. Because I kind of felt like if you would have stuck to what you showed on this flyer, this could have been utilized much better, bro. It could have.
Even if you ended it the same way, right? Like, I'm not even saying that the 100 times Ghost was a bad idea, but I'm like, you've used this on human beings, essentially. There was no doubt in my mind they were going to beat Hitler and his army. You know what I'm saying? It's an interesting thing. We've never seen him do that many ghosts, but like you've wasted all of it, like you said, because like it's just civilians in uniform versus you're backed against the corner getting jumped by Bojack. I'm not saying you're necessarily losing, but like you're forced to kind of get creative, and then you hit the 100 ghosts.
Because you know who would have been what I thought that would have probably been more amusing. I feel like if it was Gotenks versus like let's just say Bojack and his crew, like is it like a 5 against 1 type of person, and then that's where he shows him the craziness and the versatility of all his attacks. Gohan could have fought
Cell.
I mean, actually, no, I wouldn't even done Cell. I would have think like maybe Cooler probably would have been a much like better option to see. Cell, I definitely would have used Piccolo. I would have used Piccolo. I've always felt like Piccolo's and Cell's match was kind of like shortcutted due to certain reasons, and I felt like there could have always been something more with that. Like, yes, we got the nostalgia moment of like Gohan and Cell, and that's gonna always be in somebody's minds. But I think that could have been a good opportunity to take it to the next level, or even like have Gotenks kill Frieza. Like, remember like when Super Golden Frieza saw Trunks, and he was like, "Wait, is that the son of the one who cut me up?" Like, no, bro, you still don't get it yet. That is him. So, and I felt like that could have been a good moment. Like, you see a young Goku, you see a young flashback of the person who chopped you up, and then you finally know, oh yeah, that was future me for comical reasons, and then it's just a going out battle between them.
Yeah.
And he turns Super Saiyan 3, he do that little mouth blast and just say goodbye.
Again, almost anything would have been better than what they did.
Go
to the truck. Literally almost anything. Literally almost. You could have done pick a Dragon Ball villain and it would have been better than what you guys did with Ghost and Trunks.
And you brought back Krillin, you brought back 18. Oh yeah, see, that would have been good. Like to see like 18 versus Cell. Like, because apparently these androids did 17, 18, their power is still growing, and that's what you told us on Super. So let's see how from when she was there now to now. And how would she destroy an android that has Namekian healing properties? How would she do it?
Again, anything. I would have taken literally anything. literally anything other than what we got. Yeah, I'm in agreement with you guys. I think.
Oh yes, and this would have been an ultimate nostalgia trip. Tien versus Nappa. Because imagine or Yamcha Tien and Chaozu versus Nappa, or just them versus the old Saiyans that they fought, like bring back Turles' crew, and imagine what that rematch would look like.
Yeah. The
like,
humans
nah, bro, like we
cleaned up.
We ain't the same boys no more. We ain't the same boys no more.
We ain't the one shot crew no more. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been good.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. Like there could have been
so
many. There could have been so many things. There could have been a Piccolo, a proper Piccolo and Lord Slug
face off. Yeah.
It's right there,
yeah.
bro.
The movie could have been goated. Like, just like, listen, Fusion Reborn.
Oh no, they would have been in the ether, man. They would have been in the future in the ether.
Goated. Just a must watch is what they would say about this movie.
We wouldn't even talk about the other Dragon Ball Z movies. It'd be flush.
Yeah, and they remember, like I said, when you kill the villain, like they respawn because they keep coming back because the border is
still
not
in
closed.
Flux. Yeah.
So imagine
that is stakes.
So imagine if Frieza comes back a second time. This time he fights Piccolo. Oh, this is the revenge for all the Namekians. And it's like, bro, there's so many things they could have just done with this, bro. But yeah, this is where we are.
Let's watch Goten dance on a hubcap in trunks. So the final question for this movie: what do you guys rate it out of 10?
I give it an 8.
Okay, that's right. What do you give
it's my 10 out of 10, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with Tim. I'm kind of an 8 out of 10. I think again that's
you
Earth story was
you lied.
Yeah, that Earth story it takes a lot away from that film. But again, what we got in the Hell part, to me, again, maybe besides Veku being around a little bit too long, I'm like, I had no complaints. I thought it was good. Even Pycon showing up with the victory cuss out to give Goku Vegeta time, I'm like, I liked it.
Man, I'm like, that's the most animation in a Dragon Ball Z film, man. Like, I'm being honest with you, fluidity.
Yeah.
And they think that's what makes animation beautiful. That's why people love the Avatar: The Last Airbender. That movement of them doing all the attacks, and that's something to behold, man.
Mm-hmm. No, again, no complaints here. Like, it's
tranquility. There's not one part of Fusion Reborn. Well, just a couple of, besides the first intros of the beginning fights of the tournament. But there's none of those. It's just the exchange and I think following the fundamentals of what makes animation special,
and what makes Dragon Ball special.
Yeah, what makes Dragon Ball special is that. So yeah, that's why it's the technical aspects come into play. That's why I give it a 10, man.
No, yeah, I mean, again, there's no way anyone with a straight face could say that this movie looks ugly. It's impossible. Yeah. Like you said, everything is pretty much poster material throughout the entire film, and that can't be understated. So yeah, when people put Fusion Reborn on their top 5 list, I'm like, this again, you will hear no backlash from me. I get it. It's a great film in the Dragon Ball universe. But now we're going to talk about the last Dragon Ball film, at least within the original 13 run. Wrath of the Dragon. Quick synopsis. We flash back to however many million years ago, where there is this planet where a bunch of wizards have unleashed this demon beast thing named Hirudegarn. We at the beginning of the movie, we just see the lower half kill this unknown warrior, this kid with a sword. Cuts to the regular. You get the debut of, since this movie is considered canon within the Dragon Ball universe, you get the debut of Great Saiyan Man 2, Videl, in uniform and all her glory, doing their thing, beating up bad guys. They come across this wizard who wants their help to free this great hero. And basically, long story less long, he tricks the Z Fighters into using Shenron to open this musical box to release Tapion. Tapion, who has sealed away the other half of Hirudegarn. Gohan ends up facing off against the legs in the city in kind of like a horrific fashion. Like before he shows up, the leg is like absorbing people in the most like violent way you've ever seen. Of like somehow worse than Cell, because there's like these little tendrils that come out and is stabbing them in their like body and just like pulling them apart. I'm like, man, this is pretty intense for a Dragon Ball film. But you do get a really, really cool fight scene with Gohan, which I appreciated. And then the monster is whisked away. A lot more things take place. Comes to find out that the wizard, who looked as evil as possible, surprise, was evil. And Tapion was the one that was trying to keep Hirudegarn away from rejoining with the wizard. He gives Bulma his backstory. Bulma tries to build him a box. It doesn't work. Hirudegarn, aka Skullface Godzilla, goes crazy in the city. The Z Fighters try to stop him. Power levels go completely out the window throughout this entire fight, because I'm like, I don't understand how you could one-shot Gotenks, but Goku keeps getting back up. I thought, you know what? It's fine. At some point, Tapion puts Hirudegarn back in his body, asks Trunks to kill him. Trunks is unable to do it. Hirudegarn frees himself. Trunks starts to use the sword with deadly technique. But we always remember that the main character is Goku. That's literally basically what happens. Of like, Goku tells Trunks, fall back. This is my movie. And hits Hirudegarn with one of the most random attacks we've ever seen. Beautiful. But the most random attack we've ever seen in a film, and blows Hirudegarn away. Bulma builds Tapion a spaceship, or a time traveling ship, so he can go rescue his brother. And apparently, this is supposed to be the same sword that future Trunks got at some point, which just makes things more confusing.
Yeah. The one that fought Cell.
The one, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah. So, fellas, what do you guys think about the Wrath of the Dragon?
It is a solid 5.
Ooh, hot take. Okay,
It is a
hot
solid
take.
It is a solid 5.
Talk to me, Tim.
They just said, all right, man, we tired. We just want something very simple, and it was just too simple. It was just too simple. It's like, you mean to tell me, y'all, after all y'all have experienced, you mean to tell me you don't think this little leprechaun looking dude is not evil? That all of a sudden when he pops up, all this evil stuff starts
Chaos
happening. Like, come on, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole, oh yeah, but you know, the kaiju, it needs some random transformation. And then the thing about it is like, bro, we going back to kaiju battles now, bro. It's like y'all just couldn't help yourselves for the final movie in the Dragon Ball Z run. You just cannot help yourselves. You just had to do a kaiju battle. And, Tapion was a very interesting character. I would have liked to seen a little bit more backstory of like how future Trunks got it. And, they probably could have showed that in the credits. Mm-hmm. Like, how did future Trunks get that? And because you didn't really have to show it to us. But like something like that would have been cool. It was just boring, bro. It was just very boring to me. Like, it was good to see, Vegeta, the man of the people now. He's embraced being, part of Earth and no longer regressing. Because that's where I felt like Majin Vegeta was like his last regression of like, and he fully accepted his role within this community. And you could see a lot of that refinement in GT. Like, he's a very refined warrior, like of how he views things. He wasn't rash. He wasn't like obnoxious. He he still had that demeanor, but he wasn't too proud of himself that he knows that he's not going into a battle blindly.
Yeah.
He was very wise, and that's where you could really see like this is the prelude to that. Mm-hmm. I kind of did find it funny. So like, you just had a whole movie where they fuse, but then it's the kids who fuse, but then it doesn't last too long. It's like, and this is where like there's like
one-shotted.
And it's like, and this is where we go back. So like everything is just about the Saiyans, bro. Mm-hmm. And I constantly, I always tell people, bro, that was always the downfall of Dragon Ball Z for me, bro. It just became about blonde hair and blue eyes. So Yeah, Hirudegarn, that was boring. Just you went from Skullface to some Beetleborg looking Godzilla, fire breath.
Random,
I
bro.
like, and
Random.
when I see that, bro, I just think of Tenkaichi. Oh, mouth blast,
Mm-hmm.
super explosive wave. Another version of mouth blast, but it's fire.
For me,
I like the way he teleported. It
Whatever.
was kind of cool, turning into smoke. I'm like,
It's
okay,
what. No. We got particles last time. Smoke. We don't do that no more. We don't do no. We don't do that no more. We don't do that no more.
Okay, that's right. Tell me what you think of the Wrath of the Dragon.
Dragon Ball Z, Ocarina of Time.
Yes.
Link fights Megu Kabuterimon. Super Kabuterimon.
Yeah.
Man, listen. It's
a movie.
okay. Like I don't like it, it's you know, I can't I gotta be honest with you. I don't know if I hate this more than Bio Brawling. I equally have a disdain for them both, man.
Really?
There's highlights. The one thing I could say working for, yeah, because it's so boring, man. And you got all this stuff that should work when you read it on paper.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then you see this and Megan Kabuterimon ain't it, man. like, like I'm like, yo, where does this go? How many villains that you have that look like this? And why is this
Why is this happening?
Another
How is this happening?
why
another magical creature that does not use magic.
Yeah.
and I'm just
Why did he
like,
need to absorb
man,
people? Why did he need a cocoon state? What?
this doesn't work, man. Like it just doesn't work for me.
Toys.
And this is not gonna make I'm not gonna buy this.
Some kid bought it.
You know what I'm saying?
Someone's like, did you know they put Godzilla in Dragon Ball Z? Crazy.
Like, yeah, so I guess it was cool to see Link, Dragon Ball Z Link with the Ocarina of Time play. And hey,
do you guys feel like, I mean, I do appreciate the fact that they gave him more of a backstory than we're used to seeing in these movies, but I've never really understood the amount of fan love for Tapion. Like,
he's a rejected Dragon Quest character. That's all it is. Y'all just have to realize this is a Dragon Quest reject.
And that's why? Because I'm like,
not Tapion, Hirudegarn. They both look like they're from the same video game. I can see me fighting him if I'm Dragon Ball Z Cloud. He looked like a Final Fantasy villain if drawn by Toriyama.
Yeah, because because normally it's like there's usually like one or two cool things somebody will do. Like again, PyCon, right? PyCon has done things where you're like, man, that Thunder Flash was super unique. He turned himself into a tornado with ki. Wow. But with Tapion, I'm like, he plays the flute. He makes a protective shield. He doesn't even use the sword that cut Hirudegarn in half. I'm like, why is he in all these Tenkaichi games? I don't get it. What about this character do y'all like so much?
Dragon Quest, man. Dragon Quest or Chrono Trigger. It just reminds people of Chrono Trigger. That's what I thought of immediately. Oh, they got Link and Dragon Ball Z. I love Link. That's the closest thing to him. I'm not gonna complain. That's what that was. That's what I took it as.
That's crazy.
That's what I took it as. This is the story where Trunks gets his sword. Really? And I'm like, but it don't make, to me, I'm like, but if Trunks got his sword, then why is everybody still here?
Yeah.
So then where did that Trunks get his sword? Why didn't Tapion come back into the future with him to fight Seth? You know what I'm saying?
This movie was the definition of burnout.
It wasn't good.
It was simple, but it was too simple, and it was too simple because it was just bad. It was just bad, bro.
They should have just put money in the head check.
Oh, yeah.
Put money in the head check.
No, I
didn't care for that villain either.
I like Tachiak. I think his motivation has been used too many times, so it kind of takes away from what makes him interesting. Of like, it was at the time, it was like, oh, okay, you find out that Planet Vegeta was being shared by another alien race that were kind of beaten into subjugation by the Saiyans. And he's like the last creation of them to get revenge. I'm like, that's an interesting plot. But then you see it with Baby. Then you see it with Granola. And you're just like, all right, I don't care anymore. Like, this is.
I never did once I found out your name was Cereal. So,
Yeah, it's
you killed it for
that's
me.
what I feel
Yeah, I
like
gotta kill that tradition.
retroactively. Yeah, that retroactively to
Let
me
it
kind
go.
of like took
Yeah.
Hachiak's like thing away.
Hated this movie, man.
Yeah,
Hated the villain, kaiju villain. Yeah, the animation was superb. Like I'll be honest with you, animation was beautiful, but
that
it
fight in
just
the city
wasn't
with
enough.
Gohan.
See, now that's where I'm angry, right? Because I'm like, yo, why don't you just give the torch to Gohan? Let it be the Gohan show. Let Gohan have something.
They reneged during the Majin Buu saga. They
And in an
reneged.
embarrassing way. Like he didn't even get to go out smooth. He went out like in the series and the movie. You're like, fam, what happened? You was just
You put on Goku's clothes.
bruh. The music
You
starts
got you.
playing.
You giving him that Dragon Ball Z final bout punch in the gut. You know
The
what I'm
punches
saying?
where you hear the echo throughout the earth. You're like, yo, he giving Boo that work. He is getting so the hero. The hero music starts
Yeah.
playing.
There was a lot of fight scenes that were fire, man. It just didn't do anything for me, man, because it just felt like, yeah, burnout. Um, but I'd go further to say like this was a lazy Dragon Ball Z movie, man. It's super lazy. It was on the same level of laziness of Second Coming Broly,
Mm,
which same laziness as Biofighter Broly, Lord Slug as well. They all have that same sluggish,
not much is
uninteresting
happening.
movement. And like stuff is not moving. You just like, yo, what am I watching? But if you watch any of the other Dragon Ball Z movies, there's a pace.
Mm.
There's a pace that the film's moving at, either at its own tempo or a faster tempo, but it's moving along. This just
It's
felt
like the
like,
lifeline at the hospital. Damn. Damn. Oh
yeah,
wait, no, we
so
got
Couple
we got
this
spikes.
is, yeah, basically. Then they flatline. Yeah, we
yeah.
Yeah,
bringing that back.
yeah,
Flatline,
developing.
straight flatline,
So
flatline.
it was so bad that they had to give you a gold plated Frieza. I mean, actually,
Well,
no, it's
no,
Battle of the Gods
I must say
first.
that's not fair. We got
It-
Peak. We
Nah,
got Peak.
that's
We got
that's
Peak.
years out.
Peak
no,
antagonist.
we got another palette transformation. Then we got another one through
Yes,
Frieza.
but we got Beerus, Tim. Come on now, you can't. We're not gonna let you talk down on
Yeah,
Battle Gods because you didn't like the transformation
Barris.
form.
Another storyline that's going nowhere.
Yeah, because they don't know what to do with him either. But initially, I was like, oh, I like this. Initially,
Initially,
yeah,
palette, and that's where everything. It was if it wasn't a kaiju battle, it was color palettes, bro. And this is where things just tanked. And like
yeah,
I said, bro, the best movie after this that gave me the best quality to me was Super Broly. Like even Superhero, it had some good elements, but Cell Max ruined that for me, bro. I was like, no. I was like, bro, y'all have
Cell
not
Max
learned.
Hirudegarn
I was like, bro,
ruined it
y'all
for you.
have not learned y'all lesson from these fights,
Cell
bro.
Max
Like,
Hirudegarn ruined it for
yeah.
you, man.
It's a sign like you guys just don't know how to do kaiju's in this world, and that's okay.
well,
We don't need to keep trying.
because to be honest, the only kaiju battle that was efficient was Vegeta.
Yeah.
Technically, when you really look at it, yeah, and because even they knew the first form of Janemba, that's why it got taken out so quickly. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we ain't gonna waste your time. We just wanted to get that little out there. Like,
Yeah.
but it's like, bro, like y'all just can't help yourselves.
What if they fought a huge monster in this room of this series about high speed battles and techniques? And what if it didn't talk and breathe fire? And
You know,
we had a chance to bring in all the Z fighters, if nothing else, to help evacuate the civilians, but we don't. We'll just focus on the Saiyans because, within character, Piccolo and the rest of them would not show up in time of danger. They would just not appear. It's like, all right, keep going. And even though in this series at this point, both Gotenks and Gohan are stronger than Goku, We'll have them both get one-shotted by Hirudegarn, but Goku keeps getting back up. How?
It just wasn't good, man. And and for me at the time, in my mind, you fighting in my head, you fighting a giant monster. I'm like, why is it taking so long? That's another thing that got me angry. I'm like, this shouldn't be taking so long. You guys just give this man a universal beam and fry him. Fly in his mouth, turn up the heat, fuse inside Buddy Belly. Like, it's like they lost every form. Goku could have easily like, yo, let's get rid of this guy. It worked with Janemba. It'll work with you.
Super Dragon Fist.
I don't know.
So then, why didn't you turn level 3 from the very beginning? You know,
if that was the case, yeah.
That's why I can't.
It would have been over. It would have been over.
Yeah.
So if that's, but then my thing is like,
I think people, I guess including myself at that age, I think because to Jory's point that it was drawn so well and the visual shots are so, I guess you could say interesting, right? Like I really enjoy Vegeta's fight against Hirudegarn because like he's pushing back against the mist and you kind of see that thing where he gets hit and he kind of flies back from like just the angles he was using, like that they were using. Like it's all very like aesthetically pleasing to the eye. But then, like when you think about it critically, you're just like, "But this is so stupid." Like, I don't like. This is cool seeing him do like a little final flash shield to protect these civilians, but this is so stupid. This is so stupid. yeah. I don't know much.
And then the movies went on hiatus for a little minute.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I don't have much to say. I don't really disagree with you guys. Yeah,
there isn't.
It was cool. I like the Dragon Fist as a technique. I would even argue it was done better in Dragon Ball GT, which is crazy to say out loud. I would prefer Super Saiyan 4 Goku's Dragon Fist to Ice Shenron and Omega Shenron over what he did to Hirudegarn. When he punched his fist into Ice Shenron's back and the Dragon Fist comes out and comes back down, I'm like, yeah. I like that more. I do.
Yeah.
Or when he shot the Kamehameha Omega Shenron and then threw the Kamehameha, hit him with the Dragon Fist, I'm like, this is also better. And I don't like Dragon Ball GT. So this is not good. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's Wrath of the Dragon, y'all. So I guess ultimately overall, what were... Well, Jory kind of gave us some of his list, but like, what were the movies like if you were to recommend to a potential Dragon Ball fan of like watch these 3 films? Like, what were the movies that you guys like watch this, and this?
I would say Dead Zone, Tree of Might,
okay,
and Return of Cooler.
Okay, that's right. What about you?
3 films. Let's see. Tree of Might, Cooler's Revenge, Fusion Reborn.
Okay. I'd say Dead Zone also. Super Android 13. And of course BoJack Unbound. So the 3 I would say. Because I feel like
those are solid picks, man.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for like, let's get everyone involved. So I do like Tree of Might, but like to what Tim had said, I'm like, I hate the fact that they get one-shotted. It's so annoying watching it become the Goku movie like this. I feel like, it's just, but I do like when the entire squad is included into these films. Like it's more interesting. So even though Krillin didn't like fight 13, the fact that he's around, it's like, because this is what would happen. He would still show up. Like the fact that in most of these movies, they're nowhere to be found. I'm like, this is not even realistic. They would at least show up. So yeah. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed Anime Corner. We got a special one coming up in the next few weeks for a completely different anime in particular. So I hope you all enjoyed anime in retrospect. There is especially like a 90s anime movie that you guys would want us to cover that we might have seen or might need to revisit. please let us know in the comments. Of course, we make an effort to read and respond to all of them, and you never know, your take might get picked. But till then, it is the Press Start Select podcast. I am Antonius DaGamer, Mykale Smith, Super SSS rank, and y'all have a good night.
All right, like and subscribe. We love you.
Of course.
We love you. Thank you. Thank you. Road to 500.
Road to 1,000.
Road to 1,000. I like that. Let's not dream small. Let's dream.
Never that.